This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka. Every time I left here on a Thursday, something happen when the program done, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, Monday. And you come back, it's a total different thing people are talking about. Now, this killing with this little girl, people are talking about it for 2 weeks, you know. But meanwhile, in that, we still never confront the politician them and them raise a peer. We hear Mark Golding say him gay 80% I'm paid to this, that. I want if it's every month, the pay where I get is that this is where I give them now, I'm going to keep giving them the 80%. That is really something. Are we going to see him giving 80% now, and then Peter off, I'm going to continue giving 80%? But I am told that the majority of PNP people, them agree with the raise, and them hush, except for what's your name there? The pretty one there, the Miss World one. I can't remember her name. I love her, so I can't remember her name. Shane, what's your name again?
Lisa
agree with the raise. And she say, most of the PNP, them agree with it, but them no want to say nothing but less. The people look upon them a different way. And she has said the people them get what them pay for. I don't understand them statement there, no, Lisa. Or you cannot talk about we get what we pay for. That means we pay for filth, so the whole town have filth. And that child actually I say, the money we're supposed to make them work properly, them now get it, so obviously them now work properly. And some me deduct from it. Then how that I go? If everybody get up then and say them want see a better Jamaica, and then the politician them say, yeah, we want to see a better Jamaica, you know, but you say, if you don't pay we right to the now see a better Jamaica, that means them not have Jamaica at heart. A joke business. Joke business. So when she come now and said, we get what we pay for. In other words, if you don't pay a little bit of money, you don't get a little bit of service. And what kind of government that? What kind of government a work out this thing here? And a whole heap of them think so too. But as she one ball out, the other one them round the corner talk about it secretly. That's why we know say no better air, no better barrel. Because really and truly, that done away with now, back to normal. And we still not hear about the Governor General, because really and truly the Governor General money link to them say they judge them and whatsoever them link to. So if fee money go down, for them money have to go down too. You think them people are easy? Why you link Governor General money with some people? Governor General, a King Charles supposed to pay him. King Charles supposed to pay him and pay him household and him servant them and all them thing there. And him gonna almost 30 million. Oh, me no hear my ball out, say, I don't give nothing to nobody. Because I'm not really need it. I'm not really need it. It's a terrible thing them do to the people. But getting back to what me that was say, because really and truly, the state of Jamaica kind of look away now. And we hear them tell about how this doing better now and that doing better now. And we see all of the company them in the private sector and make more profit now. So everything is fine and dandy and okay. Brethren, Mr. Politician, the people them don't see what you say. the people them don't see it. You can't just say it in a parliament and talk on radio every day. That's why I'm going to interview politicians, you know. I mean, if them call is one thing, but me not go tell Shamara. So Shamara would have liked to speak to the minister. But doing that. Because anytime they talk, them have sweet mouth. And if it's PNP come, him have sweet mouth. And when the JLP come, him have sweet mouth too. Confusion in a room. Confusion in a room. The people them don't see what you're talking about. All the highfalutin and this and that, where we are here are going. Everything this and everything that. The people them not seeing it. I wonder if you don't know that. I wonder if you don't know so the people them don't see what I say. Look at the constitutional reform and what they claim now. The people them don't have a clue about what it is all about. Don't have a clue when they talk about republic and when they talk about executive president and when they talk about this and that. The people them don't have a clue what this is all about. As a matter of fact, most of them feel that the king should have run Jamaica. Because when the queen should have run Jamaica, it did better. As some Jamaican people think. That's why everybody around go America or Canada. Or part of one of them islands, the Belize or St. Lucia. Them feel more secure in there. The people them don't feel what the politicians them are say. All the things them when you hear this and that. The people them don't feel it. And if you know that. If you know so the people them don't feel it. But you're not going to know nothing about it. Because when I sell out the country, when I block off the beach them, landlocked way. Right, sir. So if you should know, say I laugh. We are being landlocked. Them are corner into the center. And then them use the flatland and build mansions and send the people them on the hillside when it should be the other way around. Them send the people on the hillside and build the mansion them on the farmland. The people them not feeling no politician, the people them not feeling no. It's a terrible thing. And then now we have the children them is in danger. What a thing. What a thing. Because them say a hurricane season now. So one day your ball say you can't get no water. The next day your ball say you have too much water. You know, see, everything working according to its nature. It don't work according to man plan. And that enough you know is not man a planet. Man must plan how to harvest the water. And harvest the sunlight too. And then we won't complain. You know, see it. And that is what government is there to do. Government is there to see that the people, them infrastructure and security is in place. So when you say all water now, not about, it could have more water now with the water over the lab before, but because they never put nothing in place to have that amount of water to save. Short space of time the water gone. So we have to do something about it. Your children is not your children. People want to manipulate the children them and then them do what them want to do with them. A man by the name of Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese poet, his famous book is The Prophet. And in that book you will see that and children and marriage and death, all of these things. And that is one of the famous poems that was written by this man and was covered so many times. So many times. So we give you three of them, three of those NATO, I hope everybody know where NATO mean, and Russia and Ukraine, and how America is fighting a proxy war against Russia because them want to in a country near to Russia because them really are trying manipulate it. But if Russia decides, say, you remember when Russia said them have set up with Cuba and nearly start a world war. But now we say America is right beside Russia now. A fight a war and a talk about a Ukraine a fight the war. Ukraine a fight the war. I want the people to listen to this very, very keenly. Listen.
Not accept a Chinese military base in Canada or in Mexico or in the Caribbean. So why would Russia accept U.S., which NATO is really, U.S., military missiles and bombs and planes and tanks right at its border? And number 4, it wants that the world recognize Crimea, Lugansk, and Donetsk as territories separate from Ukraine because they're full of Russian speakers. They're full of ethnic Russians. So there is some historical claim there that we don't know all the intricacies and nuances of that. We act like, we're pro-Ukrainian and we don't even know what's happened there. Now, all these demands could have been met without war and the death of thousands of troops and civilians. But now Western NATO leaders are talking tough publicly. But know that the defeat of the Ukrainian army is a foregone conclusion, and that the sanctions on Russia might hurt the West as much or worse than Russia. Since 2004, Western leaders have worked to keep Ukraine impoverished and corrupt as a way to cultivate a puppet state that would act as a wedge to destabilize Russian security, even while some Western politicians have been personally enriched by corrupt business dealings in Russia and Ukraine. And that goes straight to the Biden family. That's what Donald Trump was trying to investigate. He was impeached for making a call about getting facts on how deep was the corruption, how deep was the deep state, how many people were making millions of dollars in Ukraine. And the Biden family were involved. It's not even a secret. A peace deal was possible. Putin had said what he wanted. We could have negotiated. Did you know that 1 month after the invasion, Russia and Ukraine were ready to sign a peace deal in April 2022? But Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of UK, personally traveled to Ukraine to meet Zelensky and stop a peace deal. This has now come out. The war would have been over 2 months after it started. Europe would not be short of energy, food, or fertilizer, and the world price of oil and gas would not have skyrocketed. None of your bills would have gone up if Boris Johnson had not personally met with Zelensky. And here's what went down. According to multiple former senior U.S. officials, in April 2022, Russia and Ukraine negotiators appeared to have tentatively agreed on the outlines of a negotiated interim settlement. Russia would withdraw to its position on February 23, when it controlled part of Donbass region and all of Crimea, and in exchange, Ukraine would promise not to seek NATO membership and instead receive security guarantees from a number of countries. Reasonable? Is Putin the war criminal or Boris Johnson? Putin was ready to sign this peace deal. You would have averted the deaths. You would have averted the energy crisis. We don't even know how many lies, how deep the lies go. Only when these things begin to come out. And how many people report this? Is this on CNN? Is this on BBC? It's such a controlled narrative. According to a Western newspaper, a pro-Western newspaper in Ukraine, it said that even if, Boris Johnson said, even if Ukraine is ready to sign some agreement on guarantees with Putin, they are not. Western powers are not. Johnson's position was that the collective West now felt that Putin was not really as powerful as they had previously imagined, and that here was a chance to press him. So they were going for war. They were trying to destroy a part of Europe. You cannot have European security without including Russia. Russia is a part of Europe. But they're alienating Russia. Sounds like a bad marriage. They seem to have this formula down pat. The entire world sanctioned Russian oil, froze Russian assets, attacked the Russian ruble, forbade Russian stocks to trade. Netflix even canceled paid subscriptions. Can you imagine that? On what basis? You're a Russian, you didn't start any war, you paid for your Netflix, you can't access it anymore. Russian news was wiped off the internet. There used to be RT, you used to hear both sides. They demonized Russia and completely stopped any flow of information from the other side. We're still living in this, and you think we have free press, free speech? They're tightening the noose. One day they will say, I cannot preach the word of God. And I will preach. I will preach to my dying day.
Yes. Just something for your ponder pan. Just something for your ponder pan. Because we know, say, the biggest war criminals them is the ones them who instigate the war in Iraq, where over 1 million people dead. We know, say, the people them will instigate the downfall of Gaddafi. It's the same people them will instigate the Iraq war. It's the same people them who try to topple the Cuban president Fidel Castro over the years. And them want to put for themselves in a position just like how them go in a Taiwan now. And them a put themselves in a place where them not supposed to there. But a country where border next country, them want to put themselves in the country. And when the country where them border declares, say, no, we're not going to have none of that. Everybody ball out and say, war, war and more war. And not only that, you hear about criminals and who must go at the criminal court, what them call the ICC, International Court, Criminal Court. And when them go in our country, Bush and him friend them, go kill children. When them go in a Yemen and kill people, who going to carry them to the criminal court? Who going to do that? Because we know about criminal court. But the criminal court, when them having an egg, is only for black people, black leaders who them describe as vicious and cruel and commit genocide in them country. Them use that court for try black people. But now them a call upon the world now, say Putin is a war criminal. He need to step up in front of the court. But who going to put him there? Who going to put him there? Who put the man who instigate the killing of Muammar Gaddafi, which is Obama and the lady Clinton, Hillary, who went and carry them to the criminal court, who went and carry the Bush to the criminal code for the murder and death of many children and mothers who died in the Iraq War for something that no go so, for a lie them tell, and cause the whole world to go with them behind the lie. So we ask the question, these people is in league to bring all sort of weaponry in a Ukraine and make Ukraine become like America, like the other country them in a Europe. Can you imagine? Can you imagine them want to create?
You are listening to the Blackradar YouTube channel. Hit that
right
subscribe button and keep
that
listening.
Them deem as enemy. And when the people them bawl out and say, no, we will have none of that. You see how much millions and billions of dollars in ammunition them send go to Ukraine. Millions, billions, every month you hear how much $1 billion what of this go along there, and $1 billion what of that. And you never used to hear American are dead in the war, now hear American are dead. American is dying in the war. We don't have no concern about it. Because it says white people are kill white people again. Because it's supposed to black people are kill black people all the while. But we say white people is capable of killing white people and don't feel no way about it. Then you never know, say they have slavery in England. We're not talking about slaves from Africa. We're talking about when the Romans them overtake Britain. Because them days the slavery wasn't like how we see it. It was a normal thing. The word slave is not a African word, and it never pinpoint to only Africans. You know, even the Bible tell you about slavery. You know, like Paul says, servants must be obedient to their masters. Because them never look upon slavery as how we are look upon slavery. That is why Queen Elizabeth did say it's not she don't have nothing to do with slavery. Because at that time it is legal. Slavery is legal at the time. Even though it caused so much death and destruction from people. She said it's legal. But we know who feels it, knows it, and knows that it's not a legitimate way to people, for people, to deal with other people, no matter what you is or who you is. Slavery is not a good thing, no matter what age, because every slave wants to be free from its master. And white people used to wonder why the slave them, the African them, want free. And look how nice them life is. Just like how we inside of Jamaica say, we want freedom. And people say, freedom from what? You're in a black country. So why you want freedom from what? Well, a little more you say everybody a ball out for freedom. A little more people ball out for freedom. And them a ball and a ball so much that nobody now hear. Because the freedom we are search for, we have to find it first within ourselves. And when you know, so you're really free, is when you don't have nobody around the corner. I tell you all sort of foolishness, whether socially, politically, or religiously. When we can stand up and declare our spirituality, defining ourselves through our way of life. When we don't use our next man's religion to define yourself and then start say, if you think out of that religion, everything else is irrational and illogical, just like democracy. If you decide, so we're not in a democracy, you hear say, democracy is the best form of government. Then how come the people them have 1% of the population can feed the whole 90% of the population? What kind of thing that when them say democracy? Look on America, a minute, a little bit of people in America. You know them say the 5 richest men in the world can stop poverty. No, not poverty, hunger. Yeah, man. Them say the 5 richest men in the world can stop hunger on earth. And the 5 richest man them is some white guys sitting up certain places. I hear them attack. And we say, how is it that we don't recognize freedom is not where we're there, so no, it's not what is happening now. That's not freedom. Because we don't see no shackles. You have slaves who never see a chain upon them yet. Even in our old time days. You have slaves in a Europe, me I talk about now. In a Europe, Romans, white people, enslaved white people. You have the Slavs, the nomadic tribes. All tribe them have to. If he says only African people have tribes, them want to say the whole Africa is tribe because them feel so we disorganized. Them have nation because nation have a semblance of organization. But slavery is part of them domain. As a matter of fact, it's a human thing to have slaves. And no slave is comfortable with imposition. They want to be free. But you have slaves who become nice with them slave master because them slave master can give them the crumbs off of the table. The slave master can give them old shoes when done wear already. And you feel good, you go and go boast off on the field slave. Say, look where your master gave you. Master gave him old shoes. And you eat for drop off at the table. And that is where we're there. And these people, anytime you hear them kill one another, we feel more compassion than when we hear we are kill ourselves. And we make it look like say we are vicious people. Look how black people are kill black people. Men has always been killing men all over the world. But the most vicious killing of all is the brutal killing of African people. And it has been going on for 500 years. And now them have black people curse black people, and black people kill black people. And when I say black people never usually kill black people in Africa, we just say the extent in which killing and disease take over now black people in the Western world as well. And anywhere where you say the governments of the Europeans them spread them wing. When we look on all them places, we see say the thing where them call white supremacy spread its wings all over the place. And somehow we start to love it because we can wear polo t-shirt and ill figure and Clark's booty and false ear, false eyelash, false fingernail, false breast, false bottom. We just talk about how criminals are made, but some get away and some is pounced upon continuously. And we are talking about the court of justice for them set up. And we realize that court is only for black people. Just like how we never used to have, you know them say, black woman is more likely to die from what them call child miscarriage than white women. I know me I say that in a film thing, and them say prostate cancer amongst black men is much higher than white men. Breast cancer is much higher amongst black women than white women. We never used to have them things here. I come on here to come develop that through the lifestyle where we have a live, you know. High blood pressure and diabetes. Them things there's unheard of in a certain tribes in Africa. Hardly, hear them something there. Hear them something there, because them not live them kind of lifestyle here where we are live. So it's not that say we honor so and, we supposed to say, well, we did better off in Africa. Better off where? We did better off in Africa. We not better off here, so. Because we don't know what we miss. Somehow we know what we miss. But really and truly, the things them we develop on here, so, is alien to us. When the Spaniards them come on here, so, with the Taino them, there. Them bring some disease that was alien to the Taino them. Taino them never dead from certain disease. And them come give a certain disease. So it's not like say, we never are right in Africa. I can't where people say, we did run up and down naked and them something. Rubbish. Foolishness. Africans wear the most clothes at any one time, and Africans go naked more than most places at any given time. Just like how you can see some big mansion in Africa, and there you see some thatch place or some wetland dab place. We say it is that Africa is the only place where you can change. All right, we could come again. Africa is the only place where you can trace human development from where it was 10, 20,000 years ago to now. The evolution of the human being in Africa is traceable. What if people don't understand that? What if people don't understand? So you go to Africa and you see women who is not married in a certain nation, them don't have nothing on the top of them, from them waist go up, them don't have nothing. And them walk normal. Because that is them culture, that is them way of life. Young girls, not married, walking normal, from them waist go up, naked. And you don't hear about no rape. You don't hear about no rape. When them get married, them put on top. That is culture. It's only in Africa you can trace those kind of thinking. And whosoever else have it is nearer to the Africans than to the Europeans. Because in a eugenics, them has that about say Africans is the least developed, have the least developed brains. Lie them I tell. You think it's big brains make you intelligent? If that was the case, the elephant should have been the most intelligent creature upon earth. It's not big brains make you intelligent. And when we look on our earth set, with the way down at the bottom, you know, as African people, and some way is allowing ourselves to stay down there and cause others to stay down there with them. And when you start to fight for get up out of the muckle, he's deemed as an outcast or an idiot or mad or sort of label because you not follow how them think. You not follow how them think. Because how them a think is not doing nothing to develop we in other levels. It develop we into how them think. So we move according to how them want we to think. And can't find that liberation and freedom in ourselves. We come round to the celebration of Leonard Howell again, 125-year-old he would be if he was alive. Leonard Howell is the man who come and said to Jamaican must stop worship the King of England because we have our own king, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Him our savior. Me say that too. Can't allow to make people tell you who for worship and who not for worship. And who for uphold and who not for uphold. We are carve out our own thing. And it might look illogical to certain people, but what are you judging the, because if I can use a word, illogicalness of it? How you come to the conclusion that it is illogical? I can tell you how you come to that conclusion. You come to that conclusion because you're weighing what you know before with what is said now. And what you know before is so embedded in your thinking that there's no way, if you not come out of that thinking, that you can see something else that don't use what you are think to justify the present situation. Remember, I tell you about a woman who is dead, South African woman, and she have a very huge bottom, and them carry her go to Europe and put her in a cage for people look upon her, and she dead. And years after, Nelson Mandela said they must return the body. And just that day, Lumumba teeth, him teeth, you know, was returned. And so is it that these people, not only vicious, but them have the bodies as body parts like all the black man penis. The black man penis is a threat to a white man, especially when it come on to him woman. But look, you know, because this is a serious thing. Did you know the lynching? A man asked me the other day what lynching mean. Lynching is where them hang you, anywhere them catch you, tie you up on a tree, on a light post, anywhere, and hang the black man, call that lynching. Did you know that them did have lynching as a sport sometime, where white people would have go for the testicles of the black man, cut it off and put it in a bottle and carry it home? And on a joke business me attack, you know, I may try to make people look bad, you know. Me talk about something them actually do. Where them would have tied the black man on a piece of rod and put him over a fire and turn him like them a roast beef. Like them a roast a whole pig. And then them would have cut him up, and each person would have carry home piece as a souvenir. Think a joke me I make. It sounds vicious, but it's true. Yes, and I really slave themselves, you know. Them never trade slaves, you know. Them trade the African them and enslave them. Them never trade slaves. Them trade African people and enslave them. A total different thing that. We wasn't slave until we reach Anya, so. And it become enslaving. We reject those terminology nowadays. Because we grow up to know better. We grow up to know better. I'm going to play the clip, you know, but we're going to play it as 1 o'clock gone. But show the paces, on the last lap, you know. You know, so we're going to forward a little more with the stepping razor. But we want the people to understand, say, another time we are living now. Just that, another time we are living now. And the way the thing I go now, if you have a picnic, as a matter of fact, if you have anybody, and them left the yard, trust me, right now you start to think with them there, even if you never usually think. Because you have so much thing out there now. So much thing out there now that is cause for concern. That normally you'll never think on them thing there. But this is the society where we live in now. The society where children, women, young boys, especially the young girls and young boys, is in danger. We have something named slavery, which still exists all over the globe. You have child labor and the increase. And right now, there's a lot of children that is missing that we can't find. And nobody knows where them children are there. Neither the police, child labor, especially amongst the female them, the labor that them do is night work in different countries where people get them a foreign illegally or otherwise through contacts. And when them reach across the other side, them feel say them reach a heaven. But you know, them things say them in heaven, but it's really hell. And some of them are bad for come back home, but them can't come back because the papers of them have was taken away from them. And the visa with them have expired. Because it was a false paper them have. So we need to open our eye wider and our brains. Yeah, we can't make our brains asleep. Can't make our brains sleep at this time, yeah. And those of us who have young children, children will not escape. People, we are under attack. We are under attack. And the people them who attack with is the same people them who you live with, who you work for, who you trust. Pedophiles is on the rampant. Passing a thief money same like politician. And I get involved with the church sisters them. That is a big thing now. Church sisters start to succumb to the man on the pulpit. Because every day she see him look more powerful and him is gathering a certain amount of power when him talk. most of we who talk, whether upon music, on radio, whether you're a preacher or you're a politician, you garner certain interests, especially some who is charismatic, can express themselves in a way where it touch people. But some of them, when them touch the people, them touch all the female. And a whole heap of the female, them get caught in a cobweb. You know, cobweb is that thing, you know, every time you move one piece of it, the piece is stick on you, and then you have to try to move the other piece. So you try move everything at once, and the more you move it, the more it has stick on your hand. That is where a whole heap of people in the society is, especially those who claim to have power over the people. And we keep saying it. Power corrupt. And absolute power corrupt. Absolutely. That means that the more power you have, and you see it as absolute, meaning that is it. That is the defining thing. You're liable to get corrupt easier. And that is what we see are going right now. All over the place, not only in Jamaica. Power corrupt. I think it's a man named Lord Acton said that thing. Power corrupt. And absolute power corrupt absolutely.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.